Hi there, I'm Z, and I'm here again to uh, test the hell out of large language models and AIs and that kind of stuff. The main question for today, that LLMs can be used as a judge or can be used as an oracle. And the short answer is yes. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Oh no, just kidding. Let me share my screen as usual. Yeah, so about the large language models, previously was thinking about and speaking about in maybe my very first video about large language models and how to test these. At the end of the video, we spoke about a few words of the large language model syndromes. And well, these large language model syndromes has been identified by James Bach and Michael Bolton. They made a pretty comprehensive list about all this stuff and how it is really connected to our today's topic is these symptoms or not really symptoms but syndromes of large language model may prevent the actual judge large language model to being or acting like an oracle during the LLM evaluation. And it's really worth to discuss this question that if we would like to use a large language model to evaluate our LLM under test, then maybe it's worth being a bit critical on that judge large language model, meaning that that not going with the flow, with not jumping on the hype train and go blindlessly and without any thought. But let's just simply settle a bit and thinking about how should we deal with a tool when we are not really sure about how the tool will behave or how the tool will do its purposed job. So maybe it's worth to try. Of course, I could just really speak for myself that I tried several times ChatGPT and several times Gemini as well, and it was quite a struggle for ChatGPT 3.5 and for Gemini as well to create some proper content about the keeping the context. For to be really honest, I experienced nearly all of these syndromes what the in rapid software testing guys just listed here. It was a bit better after the introduction of the GPT 4.0 because there was always this kind of nearly every kind of these syndromes, but that was okay at an okay level, I think. Yeah, so it's really worth think about it. If it's just considered as a tool, not a magic wand, how should we deal with this if we are not sure that it will behave consistently and deterministic? Well, I think that should be two considerations or two ways of considerations. The first way is to somehow evaluate this tool itself first, and after we evaluated it first, we can start using it. And the second view and the second option to being sure if it's really used or really usable is it's not really A/B testing, but similar like A/B testing because it's not the same product, but it's nearly the same product in a way that they are large language models. They use in natural language processing. They really huge trained by huge data sets. So it's, yeah, let's assume that they are really the same product but in a different version. And in this case we could use for the same large language model evaluation task, so we can use two separate judge or oracle large language models and we can compare the results. If both language models says the same thing, or if it's the metric is really a numerical metric that we could set some confidence value maybe, or some not really confidence but the deviation, standard deviation value between the results, the actual quantifiable metric, that we can say that okay, this result is much more confident, so the confidence is much higher if two version of the same product, let's say a same tool, can say nearly similar thing on that response, or LLM respond in a manner of same metric. So basically that's the two ways. I think both ways quite interesting to explore. And well, my plan during today's session and for tomorrow's session, not tomorrow, next week's session as well, to let's say implement something for the first option, and the next week implement something for that version as well, and let's see how it will go. So I would like to use these tools which I explored before. So that's the reason why I opened DeepEval. That's the reason why I opened Evidently AI as well, because yeah, these are the pages which I opened, that both tools, DeepEval as well and Evidently AI, can use custom large language models for evaluation. Yeah, when preparing for this live, I would like to show this information. We have this kind of thing. I will link to the edited videos description, but it's openly available for anyone. These large language model syndromes, we won't deal with these syndromes one by one right now, without any spoiler. Yeah, but we will use the eval maybe, or maybe Evidently AI as well. And I opened the three large language models, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Maybe we will need it for some exploration for now, maybe for the next session. And I also opened for the ISTQB AI testing syllabus for the reference, not forget mention that maybe I opened for myself, and not forget to mention that the ISTQB syllabus also mentions about the A/B testing of this kind of stochastic systems, like the AIB the systems. So I think I will just close that one right now and maybe leave it open. And one other thing is, there's of course research is about large language models and natural language processing. Because today's option, which we would explore, we will start to explore that create some kind of evaluation script which can be executed automatically for the chosen judge large language model. But this evaluation, of course, could not happen with another large language model, so third one or fourth or I don't know, because it will imply the question that for that judge who would judge the judge large language model, that how should we trust that? I think we could use natural language processing libraries and several techniques to evaluate the actual large language model response, I mean the judge large language model response and behavior for the given task, how we would like to evaluate the basic large language model, so the large language model under test. Yeah, and that's the reason why I put this research paper. It is published on Nature. I haven't read it through, but it shows us a broad view that we could use some kind of methods, statistical ways to evaluate or detecting, for example, one of the huge flaws of large language models, hallucinations, just by using semantic entropy, whatever it means. I will also include that as well in the edited videos. We are working with the repository from the right at the beginning, when I started to deal with the I think from the second video of when we introduced and when we deployed the large language models locally, you know, the V3, the Tiny Llama and the stable LM2. We worked on that repository, and I adding content to that repo, and you can use that. It's not perfect. There's for example, the reporting part is not really automatic and not really nice, but I will work on that a bit later. But for now, let's figure out. Let's assume that in Python we can do such a thing that evaluating a judge large language model. So from the beginning we will, or I would like to create some kind of skeleton, maybe with the help of large language models, preferably ChatGPT, to fill it with content or insight that I have some understanding, I have some logic, some thought. So let's start doing it. Let's be the judge LLM judge.py. What do you think? I think it's nice. So I would like to keep the scope of the original thought, original set of questions. When I tested these three locally deployed large language models, I had a set of questions which will or was these. So the situation is that we used judge LLMs when using DeepEval, because nearly every metrics in DeepEval is judged by large language models, and we used 4 metrics when using DeepEval evaluation of large language models, which was the hallucination, which was the answer relevancy, which was the factual correctness, and the overly verbose. Yeah, so these 4 metrics. So I would like to have some constraint on the scope of the judge large language model, that based on these metrics I would like to focus on evaluating the judge large language model to perform on these metrics on high level, or at least evaluating based on these metrics the large language model, judge large language model, that it can evaluate this stuff. So the as I could imagine, the structure, I think it would have different evaluations for the hallucination, factual correctness, the unneeded verbosity, or maybe just edit the grammatical correctness, because that's also great thing. And after, for some magical methods, it can be evaluated, all these 4 metrics. Then we can mesh these metrics, and let's see what evaluation will came out. Okay, so what did I say? Yeah, the 4 metrics. Yeah, because yeah, the hallucination was the first one, the answer relevancy, and the factual correctness. I think the answer relevancy in the manner of judge LLM, it's really some kind of so it's a midsection of the hallucination and correctness metrics in some manner. So I would say that the hallucination, let's focus on the hallucination metric and the factual correctness metric, and let's also say the overly verbose answers are not really needed, at least it annoys the hell out of me. And the 4th metric would be the grammatical correctness, because I would require that at least it will provide some grammatically correct answers that I could comprehend, or maybe later I can process that. But in a grammatically incorrect answer cannot be processed further, because it will be just a whole mess. Yeah, let's write that into, because I really will forget. So evaluate. Then we will evaluate these, and after we would like to, of course, evaluate the judge LLM. We should phrase some set of questions. Okay, so this is the evaluation dataset, and this is the judge LLM response answers. So that's what we would like to have, and we would like to compare it. Evaluating the judge large language model, something like that. This is the prompt expected answer, and this is the judge. Okay, and it will return the scores. Yay, it works. Not really meaningful, but it works. Let's just figure out some questions. Let's ask ChatGPT. I know it's at this point it becomes a bit meta in the manner that I would like to use ChatGPT for as a judge for a large language model which I would like to test. But for evaluating ChatGPT as a judge, I would like to use a large language model free solution. But for that large language model free solution, I would like to use prompts which will test the actual ChatGPT LLM as a judge. And I asked ChatGPT about the prompts will be used on the evaluation tool which evaluates ChatGPT as a judge for evaluating the large language models. Yes, it's a bit meta, but I don't really care at this point. Let's share our plans with ChatGPT. Personally, I really like that question. I really like that question for the sake of hallucinations because these are two separate novels or series of novels, and with that specific questions, it is just one quotation in one quotation mark. And the expected answer, the Harry Potter, is authored by J.K. Rowling, and the Chronicles of Narnia was authored by C.S. Lewis. Those are two separate book series by different authors. There's a really high possibility that not every large language model answers this way, so I think I will include that. Okay, for the verbosity. It's hard to get more verbose or more concise answer than this. That's for sure. Is water wet? Nice question for hallucination. Interesting question that what would be the real or the actual answer of the large language model for these questions. What if we would test, I mean, using the actual large language model answers for those questions? Yeah, let's do that. Eventually, we will use Gemini, and I will just simply copy. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing just copying these kind of things, but sorry about that. Response double check with Google search. Many thanks. It was double check, but it's a shitty answer. Gemini, sorry about the quick and thorough evaluation of your answer, but hey, let's take as it is. Wow. Well, I work on perfecting how I can discuss elections. Well, then Gemini, thanks. Whoa, it's a really chatty. It will fail the verbosity check, that's for sure. Well, I think what would be the best, yeah, not just for testing, for these metrics, I mean from prompts, and let's see if it's really hallucinated or is it really factually correct, but actually I would like to use the LLM, the judge LLM, for really capable of judging that what a hallucination is and what its factual check is. Yeah, that's the additional 4 prompts I would like to add to that list. Genius, it's not really long answer here. For out of curiosity, I would ask Claude as well. For some reason, I would expect that it will provide me some kind of differential equation. Actually, it gave a more concise answer than Gemini. Is water wet? That is the big question I would ask both. Oh, come on. It's a classic example of, it's a thought-provoking question. Okay, and I would like to just have ChatGPT know how to evaluate hallucination, or at least answer the questions that just right. And I will ask this from Gemini. Nice. That's the most concise way possible. And I think it's just an okay answer. And it's really checking for verbosity. And again, ChatGPT's answer is not the best. I mean, it's a great answer, but it's not the most concise. Okay, it feels like if I would like to have a concise answer, I should use Gemini, but it hallucinated a lot. Okay, that's the hallucination. Okay, now last is the grammatically correctness. Oh, awkward phrasing. Okay, what would Gemini say? Just 50. Okay, I would agree with ChatGPT again. Yeah, let's just wrap up because it's getting late and getting a bit tired. Ooh, yeah, here I am. So yeah, as a summary, what should I say? Well, we just get some skeleton of the Judge LLM Judge, our little project to judging the LLM Judge. We figured out some metrics for hallucination, factual correctness, verbosity, grammatical correctness. Not really figured out, but phrased that these are which we would like to check with this tool. We have some kind of score calculation, and yeah, at least I feel like we fully figured out what prompts we will use, and at least the actual answers, they are not actual answers, but they are at the meantime really actual answers, but not from one a large language model, but we will use those as testing our little tool to get these values evaluated, get these metrics evaluated. Yeah, so that's for today, I think. As usual, expect the edited video. Maybe you are watching the edited video, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, if you're not, let's push on subscribe, like my video, like my content on LinkedIn. Let's check it on Twitter as well. Well, thanks for watching, and take care, guys. Bye.